This video is to talk about this feeling of emptiness. It's like a feeling, but you can't really grasp where it's coming from, what it is, but you are still feeling empty sometimes, not all the time, but maybe for some people more than others. And what can happen, it doesn't mean that it will happen, but what can happen is that when we are feeling this emptiness and that is growing in our body, it can create depression, and then deep depression, can really bring toward physical death. So the feeling of emptiness, so has a link with depression, but it doesn't mean it is depression. But what is happening is that when we are feeling that, we are trying to figure it out where it's coming from and how we can fulfill this feeling of emptiness. So imagine that. So this is you, and there you have this emptiness here somewhere. And no matter what you're doing, it's just not working. And so it's like a part of you that is missing, but you don't really figure out what it is. So what you're going to try to do is that you will start to think that maybe if you have something that you don't have yet, it will fulfill this emptiness feeling. So what you're starting to do is that, okay, so maybe I need a house, I need to buy a house, and then I will be happy. So let's say you can buy a house, so you have your house and you start to feel, you're pretty happy, so this feeling is sort of disappearing, but after a certain time it will reappear. So what you're going to think is like, okay, so maybe I need a partner, or I need to change partner, or there's something about a partner, I just don't want to be on my own. And so you find someone, and then the first few months it's like idyllic, it's the person that I needed, it's the right person, it's perfect, everything is fine. And then your old habits and the other person habits kicks in, and suddenly everything becomes very different very quickly. And then this feeling that disappeared to start with, and in your relationship we have the little butterflies, we are very happy in our relationship, and then after a while the old blockages or old pattern are coming back and kicking again in. And then this feeling of emptiness is here still, and is back. It's like each time you bring something from outside, it will fulfill for a little while the inside, but it never goes away. It's like a bondage that you're putting in. So, and then all your life what you're going to try is to find always something from outside to fulfill an emptiness that is feeling from inside. So it will be, buying a new TV, it will be going on holidays in Fiji, it will be, I don't know, have kids. How many people are not in a good relationship and they think that having kids will sort the thing out? Usually it's when it accelerates the process of going wrong. Not always, but So what is happening is that all your life, and it's subconscious, because it's how you have been taught from the beginning. We are sort of born on something that we can't have everything we want. So we are born on something that it's an unconscious feeling that we need always something that we can't have, so we will be happy. It's the same, with money. People that don't have money, they dream to have money, and when they have money, let's say they can have money, they still are not happy. That's part of it. Money is one of them. What does money mean? Like, does it bring, happiness? A lot of people who have money saying, well, I'm not that happy actually. And so all our life we are trying to fulfill a sensation that is within us, and it's not working, because every single ones are this little bondage that goes over. But then when it, when you are used to it, and then the new thing is gone, like the new TV doesn't last long. Yeah, you're happy for a week, and then it's just part of the house. That what is the next thing you want, and you are already thinking of something that you don't have, and then you put a bondage here. So for a week you feel happy because you've been in holidays, you have your new TV, you have your baby, or you have a big, a sum of lump of money coming from a heritage, but it wasn't huge, and then in a few months, poof, it goes away. Or even if you have it, you actually start to be scared of losing this money. So when you start to be scared of losing this money, you are creating, you are making this hole becoming bigger and bigger, because even though you're trying to create a bondage, like the bandage never lasts very long. So over the time, unfortunately, instead of getting better, this feeling is growing and growing and growing and growing, which means it can lead to depression. So what is depression, or what is this feeling of emptiness? It is a disconnection within you. So when I say a disconnection, is a disconnection from your true essence, what you really are. So there is a bit of a meaning of life behind it. It's like, what am I here for? What is the purpose of my life? And I believe at some stage, people is asking this question. And when we're asking this question, is because we are starting to be aware of this emptiness that is here, that we never really paid attention. Or if we pay attention, it's because maybe we start to have physical issues, or we are in depression, but we never put the finger on the problem. So the two main things is like human, so especially when we are adults, we are analyzing everything, okay? So it's with the brain, it's our mind that is thinking about a situation, and is always thinking about the same situation because it triggered an emotion that was negative. So the body is the emotion receptor, and the brain analyzes and keeps all the memories. And what is happening is that all over our life we've had different experiences. Some were good and some were less good, and maybe some of them were traumatic to the point that it created somewhere in the past, let's say, I don't know, at age 12 your parents divorced. It is a trauma. And at age, I don't know, 8, let's say your best friend, and you were super young, your best friend died. So that has been also traumatic. So it can be car accident, it can be physical abuse, it can be so many different things, okay? But trauma doesn't have to be strong. It can be only bullying at school. It can be just a specific event that has been so scary, so worrying, that you started to create in your body a specific emotion that was stored and kept inside your body. So someone died and you started to be, I don't know, fear, scared, sad, feeling grief, divorce, you felt abandonment, you felt, yeah, other feelings, okay? And so what happened is that is becoming part of you, and it goes somewhere on your body, and it stays on your body, you know, in your brain, in your heart, in different part of the body, depending where you have the weakness, where you feel the emotion. It goes on the weakest organ, or the weakest part of your body. You know, it's like a disease. When you have a flu, you will have a flu because your immune system is a bit weaker than usual. But if you have a strong immune system, the chance to have a flu, or to have like a very mild flu, well, you will have more chance to have a mild flu if you have a really strong immune system. Well, so if you have a weakened area in your body, and that can happen, it will tend to hold into this specific area. So what is happening is that, so you have all those trauma in your life, in your past, and you never dealt with them. What you have done is that you just push them down inside you, and you never really thought about them, and you just went on with your life. But when you do that, the problem is you never released your emotions. So when you don't release your emotion, they are like some rocks that you are holding with you. So imagine that every trauma, in every traumatic event, or even experiences where you felt specific negative emotions, it creates a little rock. So imagine along your life the amount of rocks that you have with you still. It's getting very heavy, isn't it? And that is what is triggering that, because when you are in this pattern, because you are feeling down, your mind is thinking about the same experience, you know. I don't trust, you know, I don't trust my partner because somehow, somewhere, maybe I still remember my parents divorced, and my father was unfaithful with my mother, and they were always fighting, and so I can't really trust my partner at all. And so we are constantly putting all our energy into our thoughts, and our thoughts are feeding constantly onto our past. And then it's impossible for us to build a future, a good, you know, positive future, if we are always thinking on the past. But because we are still holding and attached to all those feelings that are not gone. So this emptiness that you are feeling is this disconnection within you. So how to explain? It's a disconnection from trusting yourself that everything has a solution, everything is possible. But for that, you sort of need to reconnect. Yeah, it's a bit silly, but to your heart. And that is so true. You need to reconnect to your heart space. Because when you, so I don't know if you know, but the heart is on neurons. I think they're called neurites. And so the heart has its own brain. It has the brain of sensation. Usually the heart will feel sensation before the brain think about, you know, it creates a thought. So the heart is actually faster than the brain. And some scientists realize that there is a really direct connection between the heart and the mind, and then the mind and the heart. They are always sending signals, and signals. And when we have had a traumatic, it doesn't have to be huge, but when we have had, you know, a heavy life, and we never really dealt with our old emotions, we are keeping them within us. It is creating a protection, because your heart is pure. Your heart, you know, when you look a baby that is just newborn, you are just melting in love, because it's just pure love. It's just it's just perfect. It's beautiful. And so when you are getting older and you have all those emotions, they are coming around your heart, and they are starting to put a layer and another one of protection, because you don't want to hurt your heart, and that is unconscious, obviously. And what happens is that because there is less and less pure connection between your heart and your brain, it creates this sensation of emptiness. So this emptiness is actually like layers upon layers upon layers of walls of protection that you have created around your heart. In image, it's really, it is really that. So you are born with a beautiful heart, pure, light, and happy, and, you know, innocent. And then life, you know, with all this experience that it brings, you will start to protect it, because you don't want to be hurt, because you've been hurt when you were younger, you know. Someone very close to you died, so you don't want to feel that again. So maybe you will create something to not feel the grief. And maybe, you know, later someone close to you will die, but you will sort of numb your feeling, so you will not feel the grief, the pain that you've been through when you were 8. So that is one example. Okay, there are so many. So this feeling of emptiness is coming from that. It's coming from the fact that you have at some stage in your life, and then you build up on that, you have protected it. And then you have the feeling that even if you try to fulfill with something from outside, it will bring back this happiness, but it cannot, because this feeling here is from within. It is a state. We can't really express it. We can't really talk about it unless we feel it, you know, unless we live it. Maybe the closest is when, you know, you have your own child born. This moment is so magical, so strong, that you may feel this very strong connection. Or if you fall in love, but, you know, just at the beginning, and I don't like this word falling in love, but when you have strong connection, it is close to it. But at the same time, it is not, because you are fulfilling, trying to look for outside, something outside to fulfill inside, and it never works. It never works forever, because the only person that really never change, it's you. Although it's but in a way that you know, the house, you may not have the house all the time, the partner, you may not have your partner all the time, the TV might die at some stage, the holidays, you know, it's once and it's gone. The kids, well, they are your kids, but they have their own life at some stage, and you never know what can happen to them either. And then the money, it's, you know, it's like an energy, it can come, it can go away at the same time. So what is really permanent in your own life, in yourself, is you, is your own heart, your own feeling, your own sensation. So the work that you need to do is to start understand and, you know, be aware and accepting that you have some old emotion that are stored in your body and that needs to be released. Because when we start to go back into the time, into your past, we can go to the root issue that created, for example, the feeling of grief, of fear. So, you know, if it was the case of, let's say, Kevin, that's Kevin, and we go back at age 8, and we go back to the grief, to the moment where he felt the grief. And then when we release that, it helped releasing all along the past, and it also helped especially around in your present time. And when we do that in your present time, well, you start to feel lighter and lighter. So many clients of mine, you know, telling me that, oh, I had this heaviness and I didn't feel, you know, fulfilled, and suddenly, like, I feel more joyful. I want to do things. I've got activities that I want to do that I didn't want to do before. And then so you keep on doing that, and at some stage, the more you work on your past and you're releasing that, the clearer you start to be and to feel, to the point where this feeling of emptiness goes away and you are completely or a lot more free, and then you can fulfill yourself with your own, with yourself. So there are techniques to do that. So hopefully it makes sense for you, and if you feel that you have maybe some emotion that needs to be dealt with and you would like to do a program, you are most welcome to contact me, and then we can have a chat for free for 30 or 45 minutes, depending on the person, and then you can decide, if that can help you, this program, or not. Have a beautiful day. Bye.